Hi, I'm Kevin J. Malloy. I'm presently one of your Smithtown Town Council people, and I'm running for re-election on November 5th this year. I'll be on the conservative line, and I'd like to take this time to let you get to know a little bit about me. First of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to take a look and see what it is that Kevin Malloy has to say. I've been a lifelong resident in Smithtown. I'm one of 13 children. My mother was an RN nurse, and my father was a district court judge. We were taught a lot of family values, working together, getting through some hard times. One thing that I remember as a child was swimming in the Nessequag River, only to find it today that no one can swim in it, which brings me into why when I get work on a project or look at a project as a town councilman, I'm very conscientious and sensitive of the economic impact that it will or could have on the surrounding area, the residences, wherein the families obviously and their children live. Second, I have made it an open door policy for residents to, if they're in town hall, to please drop in, discuss things with me that may be bothering you. No item is too small or too big for me to sit, listen, see if I can help you find a resolution. What I routinely do is while you're there, I will call the various department heads, or if it involves another state agency, or a county agency, or another township in Suffolk County or Nassau, I will place a call there that you will see that your concerns are truly being listened to. And I do follow up. We may not always get the resolution that we desire, but we do get an answer of some type. And as in life, not all answers are the ones we're looking for. Whenever I take on a project, my first experience was the flooding in 2010 in the Nesconset area. I listened sincerely to all of the concerns. The people were out in numbers, and for good reason. Their basements were flooded. They needed generators. What happened? There was a plan to buy one generator at a time. I took the bull by the horns and made sure that we bought the 3 that were necessary on 2 theories. When you buy in volume, you get a better price. But more importantly, the public needed an issue addressed now, not in the future when it may be cheaper in a capital project. When you're dealing with the safety of people, you must address that issue and worry about the budget cost later. With flooding, you can have the mold, you displace families, so hopefully with the generators, the Nesconset area, when the next heavy rains come, and they will come, we will have addressed it correctly. Second is the Northport Road corridor, which is horrendous, that so many businesses were allowed to set up there, though it's not zoned properly for those businesses. One of the constants that were there, the supervisor's been on the town board for 34 years. Councilman McCarthy's been on for 16. Frank DeRubius has been our planning director since the early 80s. And yet they let this go on. And just a month or 2 before Election Day, it's a big issue to them, with a bunch of promises to cure it. Well, I hope that they do follow through, because it is my intent, if reelected, to take that, work with the task force that has assembled, and let's see what we can do to bring about a reasonable solution to that area. This is to be done for the residents and, more importantly, your children, to make sure the contaminants, if they are there, are cleaned up properly. Third is the Kings Park Psychiatric Center. Now the Nessequag River Park has a good portion of that. I want to see that smartly developed, if it gets developed, and properly maintained with the state, or if the state wishes to sell it to the town. At one time there was a $1 offer, but if we have to pay fair market value, look into that. Look into it with the input from the residents. Next is trying to help in the Hop Hog Industrial Park. At one time it was the largest park of that nature in the United States. What I want to do, the planning department has worked with us during my 4 years on the town board, is to allow the buildings to go to higher, obviously higher heights, with indoor parking on the first and second tier if needed. Major investors want to come out to Smithtown, invest in the industrial park, but like any business person, they want to make a return on their investment. The way they do that, they have more square footage to rent out. They attract more businesses, Forest Labs, Canon Computer, any of the businesses. They've been interested, they just need more space. County Executive alone is actively pursuing and hoping Smithtown will work with him. They're going to increase the sewer capacity in the vicinity to adequately meet the flow needs of the different buildings that could go in the future. That the county with the town will set up a better road system, a better bus system, which will be run by the county, so people can go from north to south on the island. The jobs will be higher paying jobs. And this is good because your children are going to college, they're coming out with heavy student loans, and they're going to need a paycheck to pay it. These businesses will be able to give quality jobs with a significant pay, with benefits to your children, maybe to us, and they would give a tax base from which the commercial tax base would increase in this town. So then when the county and the schools and the police come in with tax increases, which are inevitable, we will have a pool of money within the town comptroller's office to pay these bills without reaching out to the private resident. We would try to at least stabilize the residents' taxes and have the commercial base pick up a much more participation with it, because there'll be more businesses. More businesses mean more employment. Your children come home from college, they're looking for work. There's no work right now. If we have businesses, if we have more restaurants, if we have computer stores, if we have businesses in the industrial park, they can pick up work in between semesters or off when they're in between high school. But this way you keep them employed, have them have a feel for the community. I wanted to thank you very much for allowing me to try to get to know you, you to get to know me, and what I did during my first 4 years. Hopefully I'll be reelected November 5th. You need to vote on the conservative line. That's the only line I'm on. But I put the people of the township of Smithtown first whenever I make a decision. There's roughly 117,000 people in this town, so I try to balance the decisions on how they would best affect the entire township of Smithtown and not a specific area. Thank you again, and please vote November 5th for Kevin Malloy on the conservative line.